Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. The hype, or lack thereof, surrounding Captain America Brave New World has kind of reached a brand new high, or new low, I guess. A box office analyst has studied the pre-sales for Captain America Brave New World, and they're not great, to be fair. They're pretty bad. They're a little bit higher than the Marvels and Joker 2, Folly a Douche. But yeah, not higher than Ant-Man 3, which spells pretty major disaster, to be honest. Now, Ant-Man 3, people argue, went on to make profit. It actually didn't. It would have just about broken even, to be honest. So not great. This is not a great thing. And to compare it to Ant-Man 3 is really, really bad due to how much Captain America Brave New World costs. So we're going to take a look at this. And then we're going to take a look at what the comments are, because this tweet from this box office analyst has a large amount of exposure, so the comments are interesting. But yeah, we're going to take a look at this. Hit subscribe if you're new here, guys. Do turn those bell notifications on, especially if you're a returning viewer that's not yet subscribed. It would be great to have you here more often. And I can see from the analytics, so bash that subscribe button, at least for the little dog that's there asleep that you can just barely see. Anyway, let's take a look. So, Luis Fernando. Again, basically just someone that analyzes box office stuff. And so they've taken a look at the pre-sales. And says, Captain America Brave New World had its pre-sales kickoff on Friday at the US box office. Let me just click here. Right, so after 2 days of pre-sales, although nowhere near Quantumania, which opened on the same weekend in 2023, Captain America Brave New World is currently 1.4 times better than the Marvels and Joker Folie à Deux, on par with Eternals, and not that far from Black Widow and Dune Part 2 after their first 2 days of pre-sales. Now, I think what's important to note here, well, one, Eternals was a bomb, so big of a bomb that they cancelled any plans to do anything else with that entirely. So that's not a great comparison, obviously. If it's on par with Eternals, that's bad. Black Widow wasn't successful either. That's obviously not necessarily a fair comparison, because then it was also released on Disney Plus, I think, at the same time. Dune Part 2. Now, Dune Part 2 is definitely not a fair comparison, because Dune Part 2 costs significantly less than Captain America Brave New World. And that's what you need to factor into all of this, is the expenditure of the film, like how much this film actually cost. And it's substantial. Some people think it costs somewhere in the region of $375 million. It is at the very least $300 million, which is abnormally high and is a result of bad management. So it says this: keeping the same pacing in relation to other films, Captain America 4 could be securing a 3-day opening above both Thor and Captain America the First Avengers, and could even challenge Shang-Chi's 3-day opening, which was higher than Eternals, thanks to positive word of mouth and Labor Day holiday boost, similar to what Captain America 4 will also benefit, especially on Sunday. Now, again, Captain America the First Avenger had a budget of around $100 million. I think it was $150 million or 125, something like that. It was tiny budget. So this film, having significantly higher budget, but only getting something just above the first one, is terrible. And you also adjust that for inflation. Be like, oh, it's going to be above the first film. Yeah, okay. Well, when did that come out? Adjust it for inflation, mate. That's really bad. That's not a good sign. Says this, but Captain America has an advantage none of those films had. It's coming right after Deadpool and Wolverine, which certainly brought the MCU back to several casuals' radar. And that alone could help Captain 4 to achieve stronger walk-ups than its comps ever could. I'd actually disagree massively with that, because Deadpool and Wolverine did not get the MCU back on people's radars. It got the 20th Century Fox back on people's radar. Right, that entire movie is predicated on people's nostalgia for a completely different universe. And people are really over-egging that in terms of people's excitement for things moving forwards. The entire movie is based around people's nostalgia and good feelings for a completely separate universe. But it is out in a couple of weeks' time. What was it, like 3 weeks or something like that? Captain America Brave New World debuts on February 14th to enjoy President's Day long holiday boost. So, yeah, comments. Again, 137, basically 140,000 views. 36 comments. We'll take a look. Unfortunately for Disney, Captain America Brave New World is destined to lose hundreds of millions of dollars. They've reshot the movie 3 times, and it needs about $1 billion to break even. Despite a clear run at the box office, it will only manage around 450 million cum for its run. Which I agree. I do agree. I don't think this movie is going to do very well. My prediction, let's do a prediction, and let's get your predictions down below as well. I think it will struggle worldwide. I think it is going to struggle to get much above $400 million. That's it. That's my prediction. Now, I could be wrong. I've been wrong on many things in the past. Many things. Maybe it's going to come out and it's going to get insane word of mouth. That's the thing that will save the movie. It has to actually be a good film because there's no interest right now. There just isn't. There is no interest right now. There's no interest on the trailers, the Marvel's own Twitter accounts posting stuff like I've shared. I've done videos on that as well. There is no interest right now. So it has to be strong word of mouth. This film has to be very, very good to get that. And I don't think it is, based on everything we know about this film. But yeah, again, leave your predictions down below. I'd genuinely be curious to hear. I think it's going to struggle to get much over 400 million. Sorry, but this sounds like a disaster. Disney could lose $500 million on this film alone. Yep. Not looking good. It is amazing. This guy has gone very, very positive about it. But if you're looking at the comments, everyone's just like, no, this is actually really bad. Because it is. The best metric to compare to is Quantumania, Marvel movie opening on the same weekend, so essentially the same circumstances. Trailing the Quantumania ticket sales should be the guiding indicator for how this will perform. Not very well. But also, yeah. That film also was supposed to establish everything moving forwards, and it spectacularly failed. So almost about what Deadline said it would do. Dune Part 2 opened to 82.5 million. Cap 4 might push 100 million if you calculate walk-ins and adjust for the holiday weekend. And someone put a fire. Mate, it's not good. So that's good or bad or just okay? It's bad. Hope it has the Black Panther effect. What? People being guilted into watching it because a black man's in the lead. That's pathetic. And I really like Anthony Mackie. I like him as an actor. Loads of people say he's not a good lead. I disagree. He's a good lead in certain things. Synchronic, for instance. Great film. Not many people watched it. Great film, though. Really like that film. It says, I hope it's good, but how can you top Deadpool and Wolverine? You can't. This film can only perform solid if it has good word of mouth. Yep, exactly what I said. It won't have a big opening to save it. The best that can happen is if it's a Winter Soldier level performer. 250 million plus domestic and 700 million global. It's not going to do that. It won't do that at all. Guaranteed, I think, anyway. Ant-Man 3 is a very front-loaded movie. All Marvel movies are front-loaded. If they don't get a good opening weekend, they generally speaking fail. Because they normally, on average, have a 60% drop-off in the second weekend. That's the average, which is huge. So $100 million opening, which I don't think this film's going to do. But it gets $100 million opening, then the next weekend it's like $40 million. I mean, that's terrible. That's it's just atrocious. That's awful. Zero interest in the movie. I think it can get 90 to 95 million 4-day. The marketing will be ripe for a hit. I doubt it. The drop will be insane second week. Just wait. 60 million easy. 60% easy, sorry. But yeah, if it is 100 million opening, it will be 60 million actually. No, I don't have much else to say, to be honest. It is an interesting thing how people are trying to, I guess, run cover for it and say positive stuff. But again, not being anywhere near Quantumania is a bad thing. That is bad. So yeah, leave your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear it. Cheers, take care. Bye-bye now.